How's it going, everybody? We got a High Elves versus Ogre Kingdoms game run by Ruben up against Pasha. And that is Alith Anar we're seeing, so I'm pretty interested to see how this High Elf build turns out. Let's go over the armies. We have Alith Anar with his moonbow, presumably. Yep, that's all he's really worth taking for is the moonbow. And Mislead plus the Dark in the Skies. The reload skill is nice, but it's not enough of a reason to take him, honestly. But I am excited to see him. For the mage, we do have a metal caster with Final Transmutation and Searing Doom. Searing Doom going to be effective against any Noblar, bunches of Noblars, or Saber Tusk packs. And obviously, Final Transmutation fills big, massive Ogre blobs, which you'll tend to see a lot of. Book of Hoeth, and Starwood Staff as well. We have Spearmen up front for the infantry, a whole staunch line of Spearmen with Leathern Seaguard for the range components, double Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers, which are ranked up to rank 3. We have more Spearmen in the back. Bolt Thrower is going to be able to just shooting at Lead Belchers, which is probably a decent idea, or trying to snap out like a caster, or even just shoot at the Iron Guts, for example. Either way, the damage will slowly add up, but when I say slowly, I really mean slowly. Ogre Kingdom side, we do have a Paymaster with Cash Cascade, his only ability. Oh, I guess Gold lowers gold as well, the passive, which obviously is pretty good. And then we have a Fire ability. I struggled there because his name was showing up, Pagalo Oro. And that just completely screwed me up. But I remembered, yeah, it's a Paymaster. Firecaster with Burning Head and Rag Banner, giving that +4 leadership, which obviously will help keep Nobblers in the fight. Not that that matters, but it adds up. We have Nobblers for the front line, just plain old Nobblers. Some more in the back as well. Is it triple Iron Guts? It is triple Iron Guts. Going to be going for that rush into the High Elves flanks and just kind of crushing through their front line as fast as possible. Saber Tusk packs to get around said flanks as well. And a single unit of Lead Belchers with the Sky Strider ROR. Oh yeah, I forgot to go over the fact that we have a Bruiser as well. Bruiser with Fistful of Laurels, Where Are You Going, and Potion of Toughness. Where You Going? I don't really see a Bruiser at all most days. But it does have that Where You Going ability, which is, I suppose, whatever. It's like that one crown that gives Unbreakable, but probably just as kind of cost ineffective. Gives them Unbreakable again, which is okay, I suppose, if you want to throw it on like an expensive unit like Sky Striders to keep you in the fight for longer. But I don't know. Lead Belchers are way too up as they are in now within all their Seaguard range. They're gonna do pretty good damage into all their Seaguard, but you typically want them, farther away outside of the range so they're not taking any counterfire because they have such low armor at 50 and such low HP as well. They're gonna get hit by Seaguard, and then as well as that, something else. What was that? Some ability. I don't know. I think Final Transmutation or something. Sky Striders don't have any healing support, so they're going to be any damage they take, they got to be very careful. Obviously, you do have that tier 3 armory ability, which is going to help quite a bit, but you need to build up for it. Cash Cascade going down on the Noblar is going to keep them in the fight, do a little bit more damage. A nice burning head going down, ripping through those Alith Seaguard, and even hitting the Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower as well. Very nice, as the Sky Striders also get on top of them as well, and probably going to finish that Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower, make them rout very quickly. Nobbler's running away, Alith Seaguard shooting away. They need to turn around and start shooting at those Sky Striders. Those are very important to start shooting at, start focusing down. Saber Tusk pack caught out by Alith Anar, which is obviously not the best use of the Saber Tusk pack. They need to get around into the backs of the Leathern Seaguard, or collapse, or finish off the Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower. Just anything else is just smarter than just chewing after Alith Anar. The Ogre Cobbleters right now are just shooting at the Iron Guts. I don't know if they even can. It is white, so they are kind of blocked a little bit, but they do just kill off a model there. And they kill off another. Yes, maybe just shutting down those Cobbleters would be a really good idea. Searing Doom coming down, hitting those Spearmen, and finishing those guys off. And yeah, I was right. That was a final transmutation. It did shut down those Lead Belchers and pretty much immediately shattered them, which was really, really unfortunate for the Ogre Kingdoms. A Burning Head going down on the Silver and Guard, but they have pretty high armor at 75, so not going to do nearly as much damage, especially considering they only hit the very rear of the Silver and Guard, but they're going to push. It's going to push in a little bit further into the other Spearmen and do some pretty decent damage, but also hit their own Noblage as well. Moonbow going in there and hitting Firebelly, doing some pretty decent work there. I can't say much that probably did. Hard to say, but not a lot, considering his only damage value right now is 4,000. Rather, his damage value is only at 4,000 overall, and he's been shooting the entire time. But he's slowly building up damage on that Bruiser and just other SEs. So it adds up. Sky Striders still have 12 models. Need to find a place at the moment because they are the most important piece right now on the Ogre's roster, aside from the Iron Guts. The Iron Guts are going to need some help, however, as they're constantly just being shot. They do have 100 armor, but damage will add up slowly over time. The Bruiser's just kind of beating up on the Eagle Cobbleter artillery crew and is not really doing a whole lot, honestly. He's disrupting them a bit, but it's still constantly shooting. It's less disruptive as if he was in... as opposed to if he was in like a ranged unit like the Leathern Sea Guard just fighting them. Is he stopping models from shooting as opposed to just stopping models from like getting on top of the artillery crew. But the Sky Striders do turn around and get a nice little rear charge on those bolt throwers, and those bolt throwers will not live long. After that, another Burning Head going down, hitting some Spearmen, plus possibly another Spearman as well if the opponent doesn't move him. But again, it is Silver and Guard, so it doesn't really matter too much. He literally barely even like a bit of chip damage. Cash Cascade going down on the Pigback Riders. I didn't know this was a Pigback Riders. I thought they were just all Noblage. Oops. Oopsie doopsies. Yeah, Pigback Riders, of course. Who would bring Pigback regular Noblage when you have Pigback Riders, right? Iron Guts going over and getting a charge into the Leathern Sea Guard and the Silver Guard. Obviously, they're going to take a bit of damage from that. Plus, Final Transmutation is not the best engagement for them. Same with the Paymaster as well. Probably going to be finishing off both of them with that Overcasted to Final Transmutation. And the Paymaster, about 1400 HP. Probably going to route off soon if the health player is constant with choosing to attack them. Honestly, if Alith Anar just focused on Paymaster, he could probably finish it off. But right now, he is focusing on the Firebelly, which is also a pretty decent choice as well. Mislead Pop going on Alith Anar, but of course, he's going to get spotted immediately by the Saber Test packs. Not that it matters, though. The Firebelly, very close to routing the Sky Striders. I think got a heal or something because they are now at full HP once again, probably from that 3rd tier army ability, and just they are going to be flourishing right now. They have nothing to contest them as they just get a side charge, a brutal side charge on those Leathern Sea Guard, just going to be knocking over those models, and they're going to try their best with their spears as they are a hybrid range unit to try to fight them back, but that 120 armor, yeah, that's no joke. Those Leathern Sea Guard are just going to have a terrible freaking time. Let's speed things up a little bit here as the Sky Striders beat down on the Leathern Sea Guard. They're eventually going to need some support, however. Iron Guts do come in to provide that support, but there's not a lot of like Pigback Riders or Noblage to support at the moment aside immediately, as a lot of them are routed off, including the Iron Guts, and they don't seem to be coming back anytime soon. The Sky Striders are surrounding the Mage, which is not really the best idea. She is a foot mage, so she's going to be very hard to hit. Final Transmutation is hitting them and doing some pretty decent damage, but it's just a regular cast, and it's not... Typically, you want that on a massive blob of other multiple units rather than just one. Again, chasing after the foot lords and heroes is not the best choice. Just continue cycle charging through the infantry and range units is the best choice. Balance of power looking fairly even, honestly, considering that the Sky Striders are just a massive ROR value, a massive balance of power value. So, yeah, they're getting caught up right now, which is not the best choice. They need to be running around cycle charging, just getting in and out, and just keep your Bruiser in on one spot, so you can, which allows you to do that. Though I guess this is Conquest, so there's no like attacking rules. But yeah, keeping your Sky Striders away from the single entities and away from the range units is obviously the best choice. Whenever you have such little units to distract them to fight. But yeah, the Bruiser at the moment is just beating down on Leathern Sea Guard. And these Sky Striders do get away from these single entities and are finally able to make room to decide on where to attack at. And they are going to end up going after the... As soon as they even got close to the Eagle Couple thrower, the crew just rampaged, or rather ran away, immediately just shattered. They take another final transmutation and get a charge in on the mage or something. I'm not sure what that was there, but the Hive player is doing a good job at screening them out, constantly just throwing the Silver Guard their way every time they try to make a choice to go after the London Sea Guard. I do think without any more healing, possibly. Where You Going popped on the Sky Strider is very nice. How long does that last? 14 seconds? It doesn't really matter too much, honestly. They really, really need healing. That Where You're Going is not going to keep them for much longer. Or rather, is not pertinent right now. They weren't raving when they got it. It would have been much more pertinent in that case. They're going to get out of the way of the final transmutation, which is smart. Hopefully. Yeah, there you go. I thought that was possibly going to tag off the other one of the models, but no. Bruiser's going to get routed off and possibly finished off if Alith Anar gets his hands on him. He's trying to give that Bruiser his hands, but I don't think he's going to catch up enough. Bruiser just have a little more speed, yeah. Sky Striders do a little charge in there on the Silver Guard, finish those guys off. And now that the Silver Guard are gone and a lot of their Sea Guard have no more ammunition, Sky Striders are going to have a little bit more free range to dictate and their engagements and just go around charging, cycle charging over and over again. But I don't think it's going to be enough. I mean, they are powerful. They have 2600 HP, and as they're charging, they're constantly building up the army abilities, right? So, is it possible? I don't know. Why are they going after Alith Anar? I mean, I guess they do cause terror, but anytime they charge into Alith Anar, it just doesn't do any damage. Another cycle charge going in on a Silver and Guard, or rather on the, yeah, it is Silver and Guard. Another one, there we go. We do get that third tier army ability on them. Meat Feast, doing incredible healing. And Balance of Power goes back into the middle as opposed to it was in high favor for a little bit. And yeah, just the Sky Striders are doing so much freaking work thanks to that healing. Yeah, thanks to the Ogre army ability change. That's why I didn't want to write it off immediately and say High Elves won this. It's because the healing change with the army ability charge up change. Constantly being able to cycle charge like this in a mode like Conquest where there's no attacking rules, you're constantly just gonna be building up army ability, and it's just free heals. It's just freaking incredible heals, and the Conquest tickets just don't generate fast enough. So the Sky Striders are just gonna bully the High Elf Spearmen over and over again while this slowly builds up. And I think they're gonna freaking win this. I honestly think they might win this with how much cycle charging is going on. This is brutal. Oh my god. Come on. Okay, they get tagged for a little bit there. But yeah, then again, look at that. Look at that freaking collision damage. I don't know if they actually have collision attacks. I believe they do. But oh my, just look at it. They're just knocking over all of the freaking Spearman units. The models just getting torn apart. And then the Balance of Power is kicking into the Ogre's favor. And they're going to stay in the combat because there's no point in leaving at this point. And it does go to the Ogre Kingdoms. My god. I feel for the High Elf players so much there. Literally doing everything right. Just keeping your unit Spearmen braced and around each other, around the point. But it doesn't matter because the sheer mass of freaking Ogres Cav is just running them over and just destroying their models every time they hit. It is insane. And of course, Ogre Charge as well, which negates the... what is it? I can't think of the wording exactly, but it's like reduces the penalty of their charge bonus once they're charging a brace unit or something like that. I can't remember. But anyways, the point is that thanks to the freaking army ability constantly healing them up, they didn't need the actual Ogre Maul magic to heal them up. They were able to survive just off the third tier army ability, which is ridiculous. It's just so ridiculous, don't you think? I feel for Alith Anar and I feel for Ruben, but that was disgusting. That was filthy. I feel like I need a shower after having casted that. My god. Ugh. A 1778 on Alith Anar. Hey, look at that. Alith Anar paid for himself. He did pretty solid work there. I mean, what more can I ask for? Honestly, I wish Lithanar would have won. As much as I don't like elves, Lithanar is pretty cool. Theoretically, in lore, he's kind of a little bitch, but we won't go over that. Anyways, yeah, he did pretty cool. 1710 as well on the metal caster. Yeah, those moon bows, they were okay. I think mostly he just built up value just by shooting away at the single entities because of the Ogre Kingdoms, because they're also lightly armored usually. So he can actually do okay damage. If anything, typically, if something has armor and Elithon are shooting at it, he's not gonna do shit most of the time. He's just so bad a lot of the times because his missile damage is pretty meh, and he's not a great combatant. He's okay as a combatant, but he's not. He's just gonna hold his own. He's not gonna put up a lot of a big fight. But yeah, I liked him there. It was pretty cool to see him. 1710. Could find no transmutations. Didn't have. Yeah, in that late game engagement, like when you're up here against just like slow model entities or models, low model units like Sky Striders, you're not going to get a lot of value off minor transmutation, unfortunately. So metal, I can't see why you'd ever want to bring it in this matchup unless you're bringing, say, what is it? Rust, Plague of Rust. There we go. Plague of Rust. I could see it being pretty decent here because, say you throw up an overcast Plague of Rust on the Sky Striders and just like target all your range units on it. They could be shot down very, very quickly. That could see some value there, but otherwise, Searing Doom, not really cost effective against Noblers, in my opinion. Against Pigback Riders, I suppose, yeah. But same time, Burning Head would do just as good, if not better. And yeah, if I would bring a Metal Caster here, I could see use out of it. But again, just Plague of Rust and Final Transmutation, probably. But yeah, for the rest of the army, Spearman, Silver and Guard, 1,000. Look at the Silver and Guard did pretty good. I can't believe I thought they were a full staunch line of Spearman. I missed that as well. Fantastic cast here. I thought there was only like maybe one or two Silver and Guard, but there was a full four of them. But yeah, Fort Leather, Sea Guard, they all did fine. One did 1559 specifically because they were just shooting at the Sky Striders most likely. Everything else, Eagle Claw Bloodthrowers didn't do fantastic. They got shot down relatively quickly. Didn't have a lot to protect them, honestly. Everything else, yeah. Whenever you're bringing like Eagle Claw Bloodthrowers, if you if you bring them wanting them to do work, then you're gonna need like Cap to protect them because Spearmen will just get run over in terms of Ogre Kingdoms. The sheer mass of their guts. Just running over those poor Spearmen. 1559 on the Bruiser. Pretty good there. I mean, they're pretty good combatant. As opposed to the Paymaster. Paymaster isn't a terrible combatant by any stretch of the imagination. But the Bruiser is obviously a better one. And has a few buffs that go along just like with the Paymaster. So, and he can hold himself up in melee. The Firebelly as well. Pretty good at burning heads. Obviously not going to do great against Silver and Guard, but everything else, just free value, honestly. Just fantastic value. Pigback Riders didn't do anything noteworthy. Iron Guts either. They kind of didn't have the best time when just fighting Spearmen the entire time. Obviously, that's not their best battle that you want to have them in. The Belchers got mulched, yeah. Gotta say, like, the fact that the Ogre Kingdom still lost their Belchers so early on, and that their Iron Guts got picked apart, and they still won that because of the Sky Striders and healing, that is so filthy. That is so freaking dirty. Yikes. And 3641 here for the Sky Striders. My god. It is insane. Oh, that is gross. Yuck. Yeah, they were great there. They had pretty much nothing and challenged them. The Lawless Guard don't do a lot of armor piercing. And they had no other mass to challenge them to hold them in place. Really, like on the time at times they got like held down by a single entity, like Alith and Anar's copy, keeping them in place while their sea guard shot. But if it was like Sisters of Avalon, then you could be worried. But really, like they could sit there for 30 seconds while the Law and sea guard shoot them and probably not do that much damage because of how much damage that the 120 armor is mitigating. But yeah, they just had a field day really, and they so enjoyed this battle. And 544 on the Saber Test back. Right? Yeah, pretty good match. Fun seeing Anar. And all right, comment if you hate going against ogres, because I know a lot of you do. I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.